But yes, I want to share some wonderful Irish classic literature that isn't from James Joyce. Now, Joyce is known as the most prolific, most well known Irish author, but I wanted to share something different with you today. And then I found myself saying I can focus on female authors as well, because that is also something I'm very passionate about. So, the first book I want to share with you today is Circle of Friends by Maeve Binchy. Now, the setting for this one is a small Irish town. And what I love about this town is that it just gives me everything I remember about growing up in a small town. You have the warmth, but you have lots of gossips and lots of secrets, right? So folks come around, have a cup of tea, and you're literally spilling the tea. So that's what you can expect in this one. So at the core, we're following a group of young friends whose lives intertwine with each other in unexpected ways. Now, our main character, we see her experiencing the joys of first love, but also the sting of betrayal, also while trying to find her own path in life, while also dealing with the pressures from her family and society. So, this is definitely a more coming of age kind of story. But what makes this book so memorable, I feel, is just the way the author does a really great job at just painting a very vivid setting. So you're going to feel like you're right there. You're sitting down, you're having a cup of tea, you're sharing the gossip, but you're also experiencing all the laughs, all the heartbreaks, the betrayals, all the negative things. And there is a twist of fate with the characters that happens in there as well. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's just very well done. The author also builds really great tension in this one. So we get little conflicts and it takes us up the roller coaster, and then boom, we get that clarity. So just when you feel like the tension, I can't take any more, you're going to get your result. Then you're going to get something hopeful and meaningful and lots of redemption. So if you want a story that kind of feels like a conversation with friends, if you love that, an old friend, and you're having a heart to heart, but also having some humorous moments as well, I think this book is for you. You're going to feel again like you're part of this tight knit circle of friends. So, again, of course, I highly recommend Circle of Friends by Maeve Binchy. Okay, the second book I want to share with you, we're going back in time. We're going back into 18th century Ireland because that's where this one is set. And the book I'm talking about is Castle Rancrent by Maria Edgeworth. Now, this is a brilliant satire, but we're also going to get that social commentary as well. Like I said, set 18th century Ireland, and it tells a story of this once grand Irish estate that is crumbling. Okay, it's falling apart, but it's not just falling apart physically. I feel like it's also mirroring the decline of the owners, right? So we're getting an old aristocratic family, and of course, life isn't what it used to be. So, their life is falling apart. The physical structure of the estate is also falling apart. So, through the story, we're following this family, their misadventures, they're very eccentric as well. And we also see how just their selfishness and them just being all about themselves and not caring about anyone else or anything else, and also just their incompetency leads to just chaos at every turn. That's where you get the satire bit. But you also get the social commentary as well, because it's not just about this single family. It's not just about a single individual. We're actually seeing the nation of Ireland transforming at the same time. So we see the author using irony and humor to expose just change of the old world order of Ireland at the time. And it creates tension in a way that also mirrors, like I said, that this family's physical estate, like their family home, we see that crumbling as well as a family crumbling, which is mirroring the shift of society in Ireland at the time. So you can expect a story that is, yes, it's old, it's 18th century, but it's very entertaining. It's also very enlightening to what was happening at the time. And we have characters that are very much flawed, but they're very fascinating as well. So you're going to go on a roller coaster ride of scandals because, look, those old families who are just very self-involved, you're going to find that there's lots of, like I said, they're incompetent. There's lots of mismanagement of their lives. But you're going to also get that old world charm, because I think it's a bit charming as well. There is a surprise twist in this one as well. And we do get a glimmer of hope at the end. So it reminds you that even though you or your home or maybe just everything around you is in decline, there is a possibility of renewal. Now, this one is more of, I'm going to say a modern classic, okay? I feel like if you want to read Irish literature and you want to get a good foundation, I also feel you need to read Edna O'Brien. Something about this author's writing just really is very raw and compelling and all this stuff. So I want to recommend The Country Girls to you. Now, full disclosure, there is a trio of stories here, but we're going to focus on the first. So this one is, like I said, just very raw and just riveting at the same time. It's a coming of age story that takes you into the lives of two young women. We see them growing up, but they also want to break free of the confines of the community they're growing up in rural Ireland. So in a way, it's a story about growing up, but it's not just about that. It's about also some rebellion. There's rebellion in there as well. Them awakening to what the world is truly outside of their community as well, and also discovering their identity. So anyway, we see our main characters leaving their small town. They're in search for something bigger and better and more grand. But anyway, as they go on their adventures, we see it's fraught with challenges. Of course, there's love, there's betrayal, there's just a harsh reality of the society that isn't ready for them and their dreams. Just, these girls are clearly ahead of their time. So the author, Edna O'Brien, just really does a great job of building tension with these girls, both their internal struggles, but also the external things of coming from this small town, Ireland at the time, and just everything that is conflicting with them, being told what they can and can't do. And there's just lots of emotional twists. This one really takes you on a roller coaster ride. Again, we do have those feel-good moments. There are acts of kindness. We see these girls having fierce determination. And it really begs you to question, like, what truly is the price of independence? Again, with the backdrop of Irish society and life. Again, I love Edna O'Brien, okay? I will read ever and anything. That's just, I don't know, I'm very passionate about her work. But there you have it, 3 Irish authors that are not James Joyce, that are also women. And we just throw one up there for them as well. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear, how do you feel about these books? If they've been on your reading list, are you going to add them to your reading list? Also, if you have any Irish recommendations that are not James Joyce, I would love to hear from you. But in the meantime, let me bring my friends up so I can hear what they have to think. But I just feel those 3 are really good foundational Irish books that you can read. Have you all heard of any of these?
I haven't, but that Edna O'Brien sounds really good.
No, she's brilliant. She's really great.
I did read some Maeve back in the day, like back, I think she was selected for an Oprah book at one point, if I remember correctly. Her name is familiar. But I love that you feature female authors because they need more love. It's so quick to be like, oh, James Joyce, the white man. But let's give other voices.
I started putting together a list because also, spoiler alert, on Substack on Friday, I will be sharing more Irish literature that's not Joyce. And while I was doing that, obviously, there's so many other wonderful authors out there, but I'm like, everybody knows about the men, okay? Flann O'Brien, Yeats, who is Treese as well. There are lots of people out there, but I'm just like, let's do something different. So I hope you all appreciate the recommendations.